Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 253 based on novel. So let's start. Li Emperor nodded solemnly and said, Luo Feng, Bark Mirror Emperor, who was killed by you, has been revived. How do you guys know he was revived? He died once and didn't have an inheritance token anymore. Luo Feng smiled. But, on second thought, he's an undying special life form, and the Northern Territory Alliance gave him a true treasure before. I already expected he would be resurrected. If you think this is the trouble I'm going to have. No? Li Emperor shook his head. Thousand Rain Emperor and Cha Man Emperor both looked grave. This is what happened, Li Emperor continued. After being resurrected, Bark Mirror Emperor was asked by other heirs in the Northern Territory Alliance about how he got killed. He tried to defend himself, but what he said got you into big trouble. Luo Feng frowned. What did he say? They all looked at him. What did he say? Luo Feng repeated. Bark Mirror Emperor said. Li Emperor's voice started to tremble. He said the reason why he was crushed by you was that his talent technique was not even able to affect you. His talent technique is Soul Attack, which is so powerful that it's able to intimidate many few universe knights. Even if it can't kill you, it should at least be able to affect you. Luo Feng frowned. The reasons behind that were his Tower Pearl and his mighty willpower. He also mentioned that he once hunted you in 9 remoteness space, and he used his talent technique Soul Attack at the beginning, Li Emperor said. You were only a sector lord back then, but you were still able to withstand it. The heirs who talked with Bark Mirror Emperor immediately inferred that you have a soul-type true treasure. And Bark Mirror Emperor admitted that. A soul-type true treasure. Thousand Rain Emperor couldn't help exclaiming. Material attacks can only annihilate part of the godly body. Yet one trace of a soul attack can completely bend a great being's will. It's terrific. Soul-type true treasures, Flying Palace-type true treasures, and Domain-type true treasures are all ranked among the top-tier true treasures, but when it comes to survival, soul-type true treasures are definitely the most precious. One soul-type true treasure is more desirable than dozens of or even 100 ordinary true treasures. Even many universe overlords don't have soul-type true treasures. Luo Feng became anxious. It had been made public. In the past, he had escaped Bark Mirror Emperor's pursuit, but he had been afraid that Bark Mirror Emperor would make his secret of soul-type true treasures public. And now, his fears had been realized. And there's more, Li Emperor said. More? Luo Feng said. Bark Mirror Emperor said that the spiritual force weapon you used to attack him was a true treasure, said Li Emperor. No great beings doubted him, as they all watched the footage. Bark Mirror Emperor also said that you killed him and got his true treasure armor and top-tier set treasure. Besides, you've obtained a valuable in the land of valuables, and that was one of the top 108 valuables. Plus, you were just bestowed a valuable by Thunder Beast God. Li Emperor gazed at Luo Feng. Luo Feng frowned. What did he mean by that? He also added that, Li Emperor said, after being killed by you, a universe overlord in the Northern Territory Alliance tried to get the true treasure armor back, but you took the true treasure and ran away with the true treasure Flying Palace. Luo Feng opened his eyes wide. What? Pei Feng Knight rushed to the place where you killed Bark Mirror Emperor, and some supreme beings asked him what happened, Li Emperor continued. Pei Feng Knight only said that he was stopped by Ju Feng Knight and got injured, but he didn't reveal any further details. However, Pei Feng Knight and Ju Feng Knight left through the portal at different times, and Pei Feng Knight should have had enough time to deal with you. The assumption that you have a Flying Palace true treasure is not verified, but it's suspected. All in all, you've had 3 true treasures, and you've got 2 true treasures from the Ancestral God School and 1 from Bark Mirror Emperor. Which means, continued Li Emperor, you must have at least 6 true treasures. 1, presumably, is a soul-type true treasure, and another is likely to be a Flying Palace-type true treasure. Soul-type, Flying Palace-type, and Domain-type. All of them are earnestly craved by universe overlords. Each is as priceless as dozens or even 100 ordinary true treasures, yet you have 2 out of 3 of them. The news has spread through the airs and will soon spread across the universe. Can you imagine how many supreme beings will have their eyes on you? Perhaps universe masters don't care about them, but as for universe overlords, they might set a trap to kill you at any time. Luo Feng was ghastly pale after hearing it. Bark Mirror Emperor, he thought. You are vicious. He indeed had soul-type true treasures, but Bark Mirror Emperor had completely invented the story that he had Flying Palace-type true treasures. Ancient Boat Galaxy and Golden Thread Aurora Mirror were indeed of the Flying Palace type and Domain type, respectively, but they were top-tier treasures, not true treasures. Still, they were more precious and rarer than ordinary true treasures. This proved that Flying Palace-type true treasures really could make great beings go crazy. The news is, Blade River Emperor has 6 true treasures, and 2 of them are of Soul type and Flying Palace type, Cha Man Emperor said. Yet you're only at mid-tier Universe Knight level, if not senior Universe Knight level. Luo Feng, you're in big trouble this time. Cha Man Emperor, Li Emperor, and Thousand Rain Emperor left soon after. They gave Luo Feng some video footage before they left. It was the record of Bark Mirror Emperor's conversation with other great beings in Northern Territory Alliance. In the footage, Bark Mirror Emperor said, I have low law comprehension and weak techniques. I've always used my secret talent techniques to fight Universe Knights. He has a soul-type true treasure to withstand my talent technique. What could I do about that? I could only wait to be killed. Did you say that he had a flying palace? I was already killed, so I didn't know about it until I spoke with the Universe Overlord who went to rescue me. Luo Feng glared at Bark Mirror Emperor on the footage. Well played, Bark Mirror Emperor, well played. Luo Feng whispered and went to the open-air square in the World of Glory. The moment Luo Feng stepped into the open-air square, he attracted the attention of all the heirs in the square, all of whom had been talking about him. After all, they could now confirm that Luo Feng had at least 6 true treasures, including a soul-type true treasure. They also speculated that he had a Flying Palace-type treasure. All of which made the heirs jealous. Even the Universe Knights were green with envy. After all, few Universe Knights had true treasures. Luo Feng could even feel the disparity between him and the great beings in the Hong Alliance. Apparently, because of their jealousy and greed, their relationship with Luo Feng had changed. Just as I expected, Luo Feng thought. He took a brief tour and then left the World of Glory. Everyone knows about this. All the heirs know, and the superpowers in the universe will probably find out in no time. Is this your revenge, Bark Mirror Emperor? In the secret region of the Northern Territory Alliance. On a floating star fragment, many palaces had been built. There were tens of thousands of servants inside. Ha ha ha. This is my revenge, said Bark Mirror Emperor. This is my revenge on Blade River. Bark Mirror Emperor stayed in his practice room, and his eyes glinted with madness. Indeed. I'm not able to kill you myself, human. It might take me an eternity to be able to do that. Unfortunately for you, you have too many valuables for your own good. I don't need to deal with you myself. Now, there will be universe overlords who come for you. You're dead. Dead. Bark Mirror Emperor laughed out loud. After he was resurrected, the Northern Territory Alliance had bestowed him with several treasures to protect himself. However, he wouldn't be granted a true treasure anymore. Plus, when he had applied for a Beast God Inheritance token, he had been rejected. The senior within the Northern Territory Alliance had told him coldly, Bark Mirror Emperor, there's no need going there now, as you can't receive higher Beast God Inheritance. Just wait until you become a Universe Knight. After that, we'll give you a Beast God Inheritance token. Don't even think about that before becoming a Universe Knight. Bark Mirror Emperor left reluctantly, and the senior had added as he left, a Moran who only demands but never contributes. Bark Mirror Emperor was infuriated after hearing that. However, the senior was overwhelmingly more powerful than him. Bark Mirror Emperor resented Luo Feng full-heartedly for his misfortunes. It's all because of you. Bark Mirror Emperor growled, clenching his teeth. If you didn't have a soul-type true treasure, I could have killed you in 9 remoteness space and gotten all your valuables. And I would still be the powerful special life form. Infuriated by everything that had happened to him, Bark Mirror Emperor had come up with a way to avenge himself. Given that it was almost impossible for him to kill Blade River Emperor, he would let the great beings of the universe go after Blade River Emperor instead. Inside Luo Feng's palace on Bohinia Island, True Yang Knight went to Luo Feng immediately after hearing the news. Luo Feng, Luo Feng! True Yang Knight called, walking into the hall. Luo Feng sat in the hall, drinking tea, relaxed. You're in big trouble now. How are you still drinking tea? True Yang Knight asked anxiously. What trouble? Luo Feng said. He took a casual sip with a smile on his face. Just because I have too many true treasures. So you've heard the news. True Yang Knight was astounded and sat down calmly. I'll deal with anyone who comes for me, Luo Feng said, drinking his tea with a smile on his face. All the great beings of other races will only be my practice targets. He smirked. I'll kill all of them who come for me. What if you can't kill them? True Yang Knight asked. Then I'll flee. Luo Feng sipped his tea again and put down the teacup. But relax, there will be fewer and fewer great beings who are able to force me to flee. True Yang Knight could sense the unrelenting determination and confidence in Luo Feng's words. He could even sense that Luo Feng was already prepared for endless fights and slaughters. Beware, True Yang Knight said. Luo Feng replied, the path to becoming a supreme being is paved in enemies' blood and bones. Luo Feng frowned. He had just received an email in the virtual universe telling him to attend the Supreme Council meeting. True Yang Knight was startled. The meeting is today? Luo Feng and True Yang Knight exchanged eye contact. They had both received the email from the virtual universe system at the same time. I've never been to a Supreme Council meeting, True Yang Knight said. Same. Luo Feng smiled. Let's go. They both connected to the virtual universe with their minds. Go to Pantheon Mountain, Luo Feng whispered in his palace. Pantheon Sanctuary on Pantheon Mountain was where the Supreme Council meeting was held. Since the Supreme Council meeting was being held today, Pantheon Mountain would open automatically when the virtual universe system sent the notifications through email. It was, however, normally closed. Clouds surrounded the mountains. One great being showed up after another, including Luo Feng and True Yang Knight. Some universe knights greeted Luo Feng warmly when he showed up. Blade River. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. 9 flames, thunder. Luo Feng greeted them one by one. He was close with quite a few human universe knights. Luo Feng, Bark Mirror Emperor has brought you lots of trouble after being revived, a winged man said with a smile. A soul-type true treasure and a flying palace-type true treasure. Perhaps they will attract lots of universe overlords of other races. You need to be careful in the future. Luo Feng said, it is indeed a bit tricky, but if those other races want to kill me, they need to decide whether they are powerful enough to do that or not. They'll stay away unless they want to be killed by me. The winged man held the wineglass. It's a wonder you're able to remain calm even under such circumstances. It's clear to see where Blade River gets his reputation. Stop making fun of me, bloody wing. Luo Feng smiled and shook his head. Although Luo Feng had met quite a few universe knights, most of them were only acquaintances. Only a few of them were his actual friends. Bloody Wing Knight was one of them. Bloody Wing Knight was known for his aloofness, but Luo Feng and Bloody Wing Knight enjoyed each other's company. To be honest, Bloody Wing Knight said, lowering his voice, the news revealed by Bark Mirror Emperor was indeed surprising. If I belonged to the other races, I would try to attack you. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Look around. Bloody Wing Knight said. Luo Feng glanced around and saw more than 1,000 universe knights nearby, and there were more in the distance. Some of those he didn't know looked at him significantly, as if they had been talking about him. However, Luo Feng couldn't hear the others' conversations, just as the others couldn't hear his conversation with Bloody Wing Knight. I bet many universe knights are talking about you, Bloody Wing Knight said. Especially those you don't know. Many of them are jealous of you. Jealous? Luo Feng was surprised. There are two groups of beings on Pantheon Mountain, Bloody Wing Knight explained. One is here, and those who gather here are 4-starred, 5-starred and 6-starred great beings. They have the power of elementary universe knights, secondary universe knights, and senior universe knights, respectively. The other place is where the 7-starred overlords and universe masters gather. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, he didn't see any universe overlord around him. The most powerful ones gathering here are at my level, senior universe knights, Bloody Wing Knight continued. Few senior universe knights have a true treasure, whereas secondary universe knights and elementary universe knights don't have any. Usually, universe overlords have several true treasures. As for you, Luo Feng, you're indeed exceptional, but you still can't compare with universe overlords. Yet you have 6 true treasures. And 2 of them are soul type and flying palace type. That's excessive even for universe overlords. How could the universe knights here not be jealous of you? Bloody Wing Knight smiled. Even I am a bit jealous. Luo Feng laughed. Of course, they're humans, so nobody will attack you, Bloody Wing Knight said. However, those universe knights who don't know you might try to exclude you out of jealousy. Exclude me? Luo Feng whispered. Because they are bitter, Bloody Wing Knight said. Then I'll convince them with my power, Luo Feng said. If I can rival universe overlords or even surpass universe overlords in the future, they'll have to respect me. Then you need to become a universe knight. Bloody Wing Knight smiled. Luo Feng gazed into the distance. The great beings from the huge Axe Dojo, the Universe First Bank, the Universe Star River Bank, and the Universe Mercenary Alliance were all talking about this issue with their friends. At least 6 true treasures. Luo Feng didn't have the valuable or the treasure bestowed by Thunder Beast God when he was being hunted by Bark Mirror Emperor in 9 Remoteness Space. However, he already had 3 true treasures. In particular, that soul-type true treasure. He was only a sector lord back then. How was he able to obtain a true treasure? It had to be given to him by a great being. Yes, Primal Chaos City leader favors him too much. How could he just give a soul-type true treasure to a sector lord? We universe knights don't even have ordinary true treasures, whereas he could get a soul-type true treasure as only a sector lord. The more they talked about it, the more unfair they thought it was. Why? Why would a sector lord be qualified to have 3 true treasures? Especially a soul-type true treasure? Lots of universe overlords within the human race didn't have soul-type true treasures. Even if Primal Chaos City leader had treasures, he shouldn't have just given them all away. It couldn't convince anyone. Although they were upset, none of them dared to talk about it with Primal Chaos City leader. After all, he was the supreme leader of the Virtual Universe Company. They were not entitled to pick a fight with him. Time passed, and more universe knights gathered on Pantheon Mountain. The Supreme Council meeting was about to be held. Luo Feng. True Yang Knight walked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng turned around. Teacher? True Yang Knight blocked the sound around them and said, "It seems that lots of universe knights are upset about you obtaining 3 true treasures when you were only a sector lord, especially the soul-type true treasure. Many of them think that Primal Chaos City leader has been unfair. Do you think you ought to go to Primal Chaos City leader and tell him about this? 3 true treasures when I was a sector lord? Unfair?" Luo Feng didn't even know how to react. Primal Chaos City leader had only given him 1 true treasure, Shawu Wing. Both Star Map and Tower Pearl had been given to him by Zhuoshanku. Especially the soul-type true treasure Tower Pearl, it was a vital component of Star Tower, the center of the sealed space. It had nothing to the human race. Well. Luo Feng hesitated. He didn't know what to say. Surely he couldn't say that it was given to him by Zhuoshanku. "I'll think of something," Luo Feng said, shaking his head. "It doesn't matter that they're talking about this. I can't expect to be close with all the great beings. Some of them are my friends, some of them are jealous, and some of them are my foes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you, True Yang Knight said. However, it will affect Primal Chaos City Leader's reputation. Even if Primal Chaos City Leader did bestow me a valuable, said Luo Feng, he gave me his own valuables instead of using the shared resources of the human race. He can do whatever he wants with them. Just let the others be jealous. Luo Feng smirked. Besides, Primal Chaos City Leader earned his status by his invincible power. Primal Chaos City Leader was invincible in the Primal Universe. With this advantage, no matter how biased people thought he was, nothing could sway his status. The issue was that Primal Chaos City Leader had been fair and just. Reckless Universe Masters didn't draw any complaints, even when they did something preposterous, but many great beings would be upset if they thought Primal Chaos City Leader was biased. More and more great beings gathered on Pantheon Mountain. All the Universe Knights looked up and saw two golden doors open gradually. There were stars on the doors, and the location of the meeting was in the floating palace on Pantheon Mountain known as Pantheon Sanctuary. A voice resounded down the mountain. Human great beings, gather. All the Universe Knights on Pantheon Mountain disappeared and were transported to Pantheon Sanctuary. The doors closed. Inside Pantheon Sanctuary stood a gigantic round table with exquisite sculptures on it. Luo Feng could only see a portion of the table while the other part was blurry, as if it were surrounded by mist. Luo Feng sat on one of the thrones surrounding the round table. Huh? Luo Feng touched the arms of the chair and turned around. He saw the words, Blade River, etched on the chair. He looked around. So many Universe Knights. There were many Universe Knights sitting at the bottom, and they were all elementary Universe Knights. They had the smallest thrones, and each was around 6 feet wide. The thrones of secondary Universe Knights were around 30 feet wide. Those of senior Universe Knights were around 160 feet wide. Luo Feng sat on a 30-foot wide one. He was only able to see elementary Universe Knights, secondary Universe Knights, and senior Universe Knights. As for Universe Overlords and Universe Masters, he couldn't see them at all. Luo Feng stroked the throne and exclaimed, "The throne fits my godly body perfectly." His hands fit on the chair's arms precisely. Densely surrounding the gigantic, round table, the numerous thrones were divided into 5 different classes, 6 feet wide, 30 feet wide, 160 feet wide, 650 feet wide, and 3,200 feet wide. All the great beings had thrones that fit their godly bodies perfectly. Among them, some Universe Overlords, like the Heaven Erosion Palace Lord, Ju Feng Knight, and Undying Knight, were seated on the 650-foot wide thrones. And at the top, on towering thrones way high up, many Universe Masters were seated at the highest tier where they looked down at all the other human great beings. They were super beings from the 5 forces of the human race. All of the towering, 3,200-foot wide thrones were made of dazzling gold except the 2 towering ones right in the middle, which were black and emanated an air of power. One of the 2 black thrones had a faint sculpture of a huge axe. Seated on this throne was a giant with thick fingers and messy, long hair that made him look like a barbarian. The black throne next to him was empty. No one occupied that seat. The other golden thrones were filled by towering figures. Primal Chaos City Leader, the barbaric giant said, looking to the golden throne on his left where Primal Chaos City Leader sat today. He said with a smile, "You are very biased towards Luo Feng. This appears to have brought about much discontent from many Universe Knights. They are discontented, and I am not surprised. A soul-type true treasure. Primal Chaos City Leader, your disciple, Gui Yi, he also has power that matches a Universe Overlord, and he always stays by your side, yet he does not seem to own a soul-type true treasure. He hasn't gotten one, and Luo Feng received one way back when he was merely a sector lord. I'm afraid Gui Yi Knight would somehow find it unfair." "Discontented my foot," someone shouted. All at once, voices could be heard from the dozens of thrones that were enshrouded by a foggy mist. A soul-piercing cold permeated the air. To bestow them with valuables is showing them kindness. Not giving them any valuable is just a matter of due course. Want a true treasure? They can fight with each other. Primal Chaos City Leader can choose to bestow a soul-type true treasure to whomever he decides. No one else has the right to say anything more. If you ask me, I think we should mete out punishment to one as a deterrent to the rest. The one who rejoices the most ought to be put behind bars in the prison of the primal universe. That is too much. We should never subject ourselves to the discussions of the knights down there. They did not rob nor kill. They have done nothing to deserve being sent to prison. Everyone, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Seated on his golden throne, he flashed a smile. I may be extremely fond of this disciple, but the way I work is clear to everyone. I would never bestow upon Luo Feng a soul-type true treasure when he was a mere sector lord. The other universe masters, including the giant on the black throne, looked over. It was true. Primal Chaos City Leader was known for being a most impartial and authoritative leader. After all, to attain such a great existence as that of a universe master truly required one to have the patience to manage all matters and to plan and make arrangements for unexpected events of the race. There were many universe masters who simply could not be bothered with such matters. However, Primal Chaos City Leader had the patience. And he had always been much respected. When Luo Feng was a sector lord, he had 3 true treasures, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Only the Shawu wings were bestowed by me. The other 2 came from my disciple's miraculous encounters in which Lady Luck smiled upon him. He got the true treasures by himself. Those true treasures are not common, they are not easily obtainable even if one meets with miracles. They are usually left behind by super beings on purpose, for their successors. We should not be bothered about which super beings. Anyway, it is a good thing when these true treasures fall into the hands of us humans. Ha ha ha. Correct. Regardless of who left the treasures behind for their successors, they belong to Luo Feng. No matter what, priority should always be given to the human. Thereafter, we can look into the roots of these true treasures. No wonder. I was not convinced when I heard that Primal Chaos City Leader bestowed 3 true treasures on Luo Feng. Primal Chaos City Leader is not one of such a character. Now I see why this situation made no sense to me. The words echoed from the dozens of thrones, everyone trying to be heard at once. The other knights are waiting, so let us commence the meeting, said the barbaric giant sitting on the black throne with a faint sculpture of an axe. He looked to his left and said to Primal Chaos City Leader, Primal Chaos City Leader, you should chair the meeting. Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. On the thousands of thrones crowded together, Luo Feng conversed with the other universe knights next to him and soon discovered some basic information. The thrones in the Pantheon Sanctuary were divided into 5 classes. One would only be able to see the great beings who were a class higher than oneself. As for conversing, one could initiate a conversation with someone from the same class or someone from a lower class. Therefore, Luo Feng could only converse with 4-starred great beings, elementary universe knights, and 5-starred universe knights, secondary universe knights. As for elementary universe knights from the lower class, they were only able to converse with other elementary universe knights. Everyone, a kind and powerful voice announced. Pantheon Sanctuary fell into silence within an instant. The moment Luo Feng heard the voice, he knew it was his teacher, Primal Chaos City Leader. A Supreme Council meeting is convened every time a vital matter major enough to affect the entire race occurs. Primal Chaos City Leader's powerful voice resounded throughout Pantheon Sanctuary. No one dared interrupt. This time, the Supreme Council meeting is convened because the original star is about to open. Almost all the universe knights registered shocked expressions. The original star is about to open, a few of them murmured. The original star is the center of our vast universe, the territory that billions of races fight for, continued Primal Chaos City Leader. This opening will not be an exception. If you want to obtain a true treasure, if you want to make a big contribution to your race, your opportunity is here. Here's some detailed information. Let's all take a look first. Directly in front of the densely populated thrones where many great beings were seated, a screen showed up. A set of detailed descriptions appeared on the screen. Luo Feng fixed his attention on the screen before him. The very center of the entire universe was none other than the land of origin, yet for countless years, except for the conscious mind's occasional arrival in the land of origin, no other great being was able to reach the land of origin in person. It was as though the place was imaginary, yet the original star truly existed. Altogether, there were 10,081 of them. According to the information handed out since the birth of the universe, these 10,081 original stars revolved around the land of origin. It was said to be located closest place to the land of origin in the entire universe. These 10,081 original stars were full of valuables but also fraught with danger. There were 10,081 paths leading to the original stars, yet those thousands of paths were usually closed. But, after a long period of time, the way would open once. Every time, the way to the original star would be kept open for 1,000 eras. After 1,000 eras, the star would shut. All great beings who had entered needed to make their way out before it shut, or else they would be killed. Utilizing a clone or another body was not good enough. Many of these survival techniques had proven futile. If one did not leave the original star when the path was shut, death was inevitable. No exceptions whatsoever. This was the most mysterious place in the universe. No other place could compare to it. Not only were there treasures to be found in those 10,081 stars, but true treasures also appeared frequently. Superbeings of the billions of races on the universe had engaged in epic battles for such treasures. Each race fought to claim these valuables as their own. Every time a star opened, it meant there would be universe masters being killed from within. It was all very bloody and cruel, yet the potential for these treasures drove countless great beings crazy for the opportunity. Such was the nature of the original star, the place that was closest to the land of origin of the universe. Contribution A, muttered Luo Feng as he looked to the bottom for another set of descriptions. The valuables obtained from the original stars, if obtained alone, could be kept as one's own. If you had no need for the valuable you obtained, you could offer it to the race in exchange for a contribution. The way races grew more powerful was dependent on the contributions offered by numerous great beings. In this case, the contribution could be used to exchange for other valuables. Luo Feng looked through the sets of information. One was related to information on the original star, the other was related to the detailed elaboration of contributions. It was obvious that only newcomers like Luo Feng and True Yang Knight, who were attending the Supreme Council for the first time, would receive this second set of information containing detailed elaboration on contributions. This description read: within the race, there are two kinds of humans. The first kind consists of those who enjoy the resources. The second kind is made up of those who contribute these resources. Ordinary humans and undying spirits are the ones who enjoy the resources. For instance, ordinary humans can enjoy peace and stability, while undying spirits who showed outstanding performance can receive the guidance and advice of supreme beings, or even have valuables bestowed upon them. They are the ones who enjoy the resources. Once one crosses over to become a universe great being, they are admitted to the Supreme Council. That would mean you have become a core member of the human race. The human race requires the contribution of true great beings like yourself. Only through your contributions can there be billions of humans, generations of geniuses and immeasurable amounts of resources to use. All of you risked your lives to fight for valuable resources to offer your race. All of these will be officially recorded as contributions. You can make use of these contributions in exchange for all the valuable resources you need. Blade River Emperor Luo Feng, when you joined the Supreme Council, you abandoned your previous status as a talent and will now be entitled to a generous quota of resources. From this moment on, you are one of the supreme beings among us humans. You are perfectly capable enough to contribute greatly to our human race, and can make use of your contributions to exchange for the resources and valuables you need. Contributions? Luo Feng said softly. Of course, he thought. In everyone in a race of beings wanted only to receive benefits. If everyone expected the race to bestow resources to them, then who would be contributing? Luo Feng understood now. It was the equivalent of a tribal community. The men were expected to head out and hunt for food while the women would plant crops for harvesting, and the children would enjoy the fruits of the adults' labor. Within a race, the supreme beings contributed so that the talents, the weaker ones, and the ordinary humans could enjoy the resources. Only after you cross over to become one of the universe's great beings can you start to contribute to the race, realized Luo Feng. Very well, Luo Feng said softly. This is quite good, actually, as it is meaningless to always be taking advantage. The original star? His eyes were sparkling. The universe is simply amazing. Prior to this, I was unaware of such a place. 10,081 original stars. The mysterious place that is closest to the land of origin of the universe. While all the supreme beings of the human race at the Supreme Council were still in shock, Primal Chaos City leader finally spoke again. The opening of the original star is still a whole 10 years away, he said. In the coming decade, everyone should start preparing. For instance, you could form small teams with a few other great beings, where your skills complement one another. Or you could borrow valuables from great beings who are unwilling to enter the original star. All preparations must be done within the decade. 10 years from now, we humans shall enter the original star. This video will end here.